Welcome to Disney's Port Orleans Riverside. This is our first trip to either Port Orleans, Riverside, as well as French Quarter. So if you don't know the differences, this specifically will just go over the Riverside portion, which is much larger than French Quarter, and they do have their pros and cons to both, and we'll go over a couple of things here and there. It's not going to be super in-depth because we only stayed for one night. It was an upgrade from one of our recent trips, and we ended up adding one more night, and I think Disney overbooked, and then they actually upgraded the room, so that was great. So the theming behind this resort is reminiscent of New Orleans for obvious reasons. It's in the name, but if you've ever been there before, they did a great job as far as the theming goes, and really makes you feel like you're in the city. And I think they did a really great job on the theming of the lobby. It was very clean, very bright, and it's very New Orleans-esque. If you were to ask me what I thought a New Orleans resort theme would look like, I would say that's spot on. They did have a nice little area for the little ones to watch a Disney film while you're checking in, so that's what we were doing there. I wish I had more footage of the merch store, but you can kind of see in the background, I've got a few pictures of what you can expect there, but it's very large. And I've also heard, because we haven't been to the French Quarter side, that store is better in whatever way, but this had everything you could want, and it was very nice as well. So this is just a standard room, but it is a 5th sleeper, and then right here you can see where the bed will pull down, but I've got a shot of that as far as like having the bed completely out. But there's a couple seating for a table. You've got a couple mirrors in the room. The actual Disney theming is Princess and the Frog, one of my favorites. Here are the beds. Pretty standard room. The curtains are kind of fun. They've got the Princess and the Frog theme. They've got a couple of the frogs looking on the bayou. And then the actual area for coffee, and then the little beverage cooler is actually very spacious. It's got a couple of extra places for storage, which is nice. This room overall had a lot of storage options compared to some of the others. It's got a nice little washboard in between the sinks, his and her sinks. And then the bathroom, I did like the wooden looking planks in the back of the bathroom. And then those are more of the storage that I mentioned earlier, right below the 5th sleeper. So it takes advantage of, if you're gonna have that 5th sleeper, you got some more storage. And then there is Lewis for that 5th sleeper bed. I think the biggest surprise of this was the quick service area. It's just huge, and the ceilings were enormous. You can see the rafters, exposed rafters in there. It just looks really great. I think they did a really great job for the theming in this whole entire place. Very spacious, plenty of room, plenty of seating, a lot of nice views looking out at the resort area. The quick service breakfast was excellent. We did get I think it was like a Southwest breakfast bowl of some kind, but we like getting something different other than just like a bacon and egg biscuit type of deal. Or Mickey waffles. We just like to find anything that's different. This was actually surprisingly very good. So we stayed in the Alligator Bayou backwood cottages. So something that makes this particular resort unique, and we obviously didn't stay in these rooms, but you may want to look into the royal guest rooms. They just, the theming are just over the top and looks like a lot of fun, but I'll throw up some shots of that. But very unique design that they went with that you don't really see anywhere else. Another point to mention is this particular resort is dog friendly. They do list it on their site, at least as of now, that you can have up to 2 dogs per room. Some dining options, I mentioned earlier, food court area, the quick service, it's just called Riverside Meal Food Court. And then you have River Roost, which is also a bar service. And then there's Muddy Rivers. On this trip, we didn't take advantage of any of those except for the food court, so don't have a lot of feedback as far as all of that goes. But then you've got Boatwright's Dining Hall. One other huge plus for staying at this hotel is the water taxi that will take you over to Disney Springs. So it's very nice to have a quick option to hop on a boat to get over to Springs fairly easily. As far as reviews that we've seen, fairly good options. Just some final thoughts. Other than staying, at least another day or two, which would have been nice. It was a nice first impressions of what to expect here, but I think the theming's just done very, very well. I think it's one of the most, as far as a moderate resort goes, it's done better than any of the others as far as where you sleep at night. As far as the outside theming goes, I think that's done really well, and it just makes you feel like you're in New Orleans. I have been there once. It's been a long time since I've been there, but it definitely captures that experience, or at least from what I remember. The only drawback or complaint that we really had was the location of our room. It was quite a hike to get back to where we were, so maybe consider requesting a room that's close to the parking lot so you can avoid that, because that was pretty long walk. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like the video, please let me know. Leave that like on there. Just trying to grow the channel. We don't post a whole lot, so subscription would be great. Thanks so much. Take care.